An evening stroll. Life in Spain. I want to make something very clear. It's not just my perspective on living here. My mechanic, I believe, has been here 18 years now. My mate Steve, he's been here at least 12. Andy, the internet guy, he moved over around the same time as us, because we actually met up in, I think it was Middlesbrough. No, it wasn't Middlesbrough, but I was actually dealing with a call centre, to do with some of the infrastructure in a call centre, to do with a power failure. And he come and met me. It was up north somewhere. I can't remember exactly where, but it was certainly a Premier Inn. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was actually an Ibis, I think. But the point being is, Andy moved over. Gordon and May are here. Gordon and May have been here. This is their second year, going into their second year, I believe. And they're moving out of their apartment, because they've got a 2-bedroom apartment, same sort of size as us. There might be a 1-bed. But the point is, they're now moving up to renting a house instead. There's multiple people. We had some friends over from the US as well. Wayne and his partner, they were renting just over here. They're looking at coming back. Brian, there's been talking to lately about business ventures in Spain. Well, La Mata, predominantly La Mata, because obviously that's where we are. He will tell you what it's like here. The point is, there's a lot of opportunity in La Mata itself, because it really hasn't had too much of a big push on enterprise here. There's a lot more to do here. There's opportunities. A lot of them aren't so obvious, but at the same time doesn't mean they're not possible to create. So there's just a few people off the top of my head. Now, myself going into 2017, are we in a better shape than we were last year or the year before? Very easily I can say yes. First thing I've got is I've got a contract that is already signed and for the foreseeable future at the moment. If the work continues, it could be 4 years. So my self-employed contracting as a surveyor, working from home, is still ongoing. Good thing about that is, A, it's what I'm very, very good at, but B, it's something I'm continuing to develop. I may have mentioned before, I joined the Institute of Asset Management last year. I'm still in this year. It's a few days till next year. But I joined them and looking to get more involved in that side of things. So the point being is, things are still developing. The English school stuff, because the asset surveying stuff's been so busy, I haven't had the opportunity to develop it the way I wanted to. It needs a lot more input, and quite simply I just haven't had the time. I'm hoping to have some spare time January and February, so I can actually do a bit on that. But you also have to understand, it's not about me teaching, it's about me understanding how to teach. Because doing a business venture that you know very little about or don't know enough about is always a bad idea. So getting to understand how it works, what people are doing currently, how people generate students, how and what people are teaching, because a lot of people feel failed as well when they're learning new languages and things. So trying to understand what's going wrong so you can try and program something that will actually push people in the right direction takes time. And the initial thing with the English thing as well, as I pointed out way back, was it's another string to the bow. One of the things that people often overlook is having multiple sources of income, or having backup sources of income, so that you can drop back on other opportunities to make some extra money. So that's one of the things I've been looking at. And one of the reasons I did the English stuff. But predominantly I want to take it a bit bigger than sitting teaching people online. I want to be doing more in line with developing a business from it, which isn't just one-on-one. It's more to do with developing a business selling services to non-native speakers of English, and developing, I suppose you would call it, a school on the back of it. But we'll wait and see how that comes, because it's not something that takes 5 minutes. But I've got a few good people on board with it now. Financially, we're in pretty good shape. Because the contract's ongoing, pretty much I've got a fair chunk of change going into next year, which I may end up spending on something. I get the right project to spend it on, because I hold back a lot of cash. As I mentioned before, I bank three and four. Basically, 3 weeks' wages go into the bank out of 4, because we live off 1 week's wages a month in Spain. That's all we need. So we've been banking that since June last year. I said last year again, since June of this year. So that we've got a fair bit of money in the bank. We also had some money from when I come over initially. We still got some of that money, and I've moved some money into investments as well now. That's going on regularly, well, pretty much weekly. So we've got stuff that's developing over time. So I would actually say that year on year things are improving. And I would still say we're going to get over to the Philippines at some point this year. Can't say exactly when, but it's on the cards. It's possible, and we'll get there. At the moment, we're enjoying the Christmas. We've had a good Christmas. I had a lot of family time. Basically, I shut most of the things down, and like tonight, I've just come out for a walk along the beach. Try and get back into my exercise regime, because I've been so busy with work. I've sort of lost a lot of my spare time that I used to do my cycling and things, and it's getting better now, but I've still put on a few pounds. You can see some of the beach damage here. See all this is where the beach, you can see how much it's gone down. This level at the top is where it sort of sloped. All that was covered before. It's all the sand's gone. That's the only concern I have this year. Is just a bit concerned over how the beaches are going to be put right, because that's that much sand gone off it. But beyond that, love La Mata still. And a few people ask why live in La Mata. First thing is, it sits between two airports. I've got Murcia Airport to the south and Alicante Airport to the north. That means I've got links to the UK and the rest of Europe very, very easily. The cost of living is relatively cheap. Torrevieja, which is our neighbour, just down there. We actually get called La Mata in brackets Torrevieja. They have some of the highest unemployment and lowest salaries in Spain. As such, cost of rents are pretty cheap, because obviously it's relying on the tourism market. As such, as long as you can get an annual rent, it's cheap. Go week to week, they can get quite expensive, because obviously it's designed for the tourism industry. Living in Torrevieja, you can get places cheaper than La Mata. The reason I like La Mata, though, is you don't really have any crime here. Torrevieja, it's a bit more built up. It's a bit more, the buildings are more enclosed. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not saying I hate the place, because it's just a normal town. It's got those problems. But because La Mata is more of a tourist village, as you can see here, there's 3 lights on in an entire block in the winter. There's hardly anybody here. There's no crime. Well, relatively no crime, I'd have to say. Because obviously I can't say no crime whatsoever, because we do get graffiti. But the rent's cheap. The cost of what you would call the council tax in the UK is virtually nothing. Water only costs about 30, 40 euros a month. Electric's 80 to 130 euros. At this time of year it's 130, but come January, probably about third week of Jan, that'll be back down to 80 because we're running the 2 aircon. We've got a couple of oil-filled radiators running as well at the moment. But the cost of living is relatively cheap. The internet has also improved. I'm about to cancel my internet, which cost me nearly 50 euros a month because it comes with a telephone line, and transfer over to one of the wireless type systems. Because, like I said to April, I says, look, we've got 2 mobile phones, we've got a landline, then we've got the internet, but we cancel the landline in the internet service and get one of these wireless type systems. The cost that we would save on one of the wireless systems, because the telephone lines are expensive, we could have the mobile phones within the same cost that we're paying for the telephone line. So that's what we're going to do. But also we'll get faster internet as well, because I know Brian's been using one, I think it's on Tele East, and he says it's pretty good. So I'm going to move over to that. That'll save me some money on the internet, but also if it's faster, why not? Because one of the other things I put on for the kids in April is the old Netflix. Because I don't watch too much TV, but it's nice for the kids to have a mix of the Spanish stuff as well as the English stuff. So they got a bit of both. What else have we got here in the matter? Well, you've got the fresh bakeries. The bread's cooked here. It's baked daily. So it's fresh. I mean, sometimes it's red hot when you pick it up. You've got a lot of restaurants, if you like eating out. Just on that row alone, on the far left, you've got a kebab house. Then you've got, I can't remember what this next one is. I think it's more of a mix. Then you've got an Indian restaurant, then a Tex-Mex with Indian, Spanish, and somebody else. Then one of the other ones is shut down for winter. Over the back, if you go through there's actually a German and Croatian restaurant. Then you've got the Spanish restaurants along the front here. So there's plenty of restaurants. And over here, over the other side here, you've got a Chinese restaurant, you've got an Argentinian steakhouse. And then along the front, you can see the lights of the boardwalks. There's even more restaurants all the way along there. They just carry on and carry on. I mean, where those lights are sticking out, there's more restaurants there. You know, that's the thing. Food-wise, plenty. Sports facilities over the back there. You've probably seen it in my other videos. Got a little basketball court and football court for the kids. You've got the beach. You've got the what do you call it? The nature park for a bit of wildlife photography, bit of cycling, bit of jogging, trekking, whatever you want to do. All on the doorstep. And that's why I love La Mata. It's difficult for us to move from here, I'll be honest with you, because we're actually interested in a bigger place, but I think we're just going to end up with a bigger apartment. Purely because we'll have the location. The kids are happy here. The kids are content. They've got play parks everywhere. I mean, they've got this blue whale thing over here, and then there's a crab slide over there. But there's other play parks scattered around in the area as well. There's nothing really negative about living in La Mata. I mean, if you need a lot of English speakers, if you want that sort of environment, then it's probably not good for you. There is a few people scattered around, but you'll have to find them. But if you go up to places like San Luis, it's predominantly English speakers. But I'm happy here. I like the fact it's laid back. I like the fact it's family orientated. I like the fact that it's safe. It's a nice environment to be in. You don't really have any of the antisocial issues that you get in a lot of places in the UK these days. I can't really see anything negative here. I know some people say they suffer with a bit of racial issues here and there, but I haven't experienced it in La Mata, so I can't really comment on where they've had an issue. I could understand up in Benidorm, but that's predominantly to do with the way British people have become over the years. The tourism's changed. You know, it was more like this, and now it's become binge drinking, having a crap off the balcony, all that sort of stuff, where you just think, you savages. And I'll be honest with you, if I lived in a town like that in the UK and seen Brits do it, or wherever they were from in the world, I wouldn't want it. Who would want it on their doorstep? Yeah, you know, I could understand some of it's not racism, it's just the sick of it. And I could understand it from that point of view. But beyond that, you know, everybody here is friendly, everybody's nice. Nobody has an issue with anybody. Everybody just gets on with it. I mean, we're very, very multicultural here. There's people from everywhere. Don't see any problems with robberies or anything like that here. In La Mata, I'll make that clear on La Mata. But I know you do get that problem in Torrevieja. I would think there is probably a risk of pickpocketing on market day, because with the market, some of the trash comes in with it. Not to do with the vendors, but to do with the fact that they know tourists are there. So you do see them, and they're trying the old find the pea under the potato type thing. But they will rip you off, and I warn you of that. And I'd rather nobody actually played the game, so they just didn't come here. Because they are crooks. No other way to put it. I mean, there was an expat, his wife lost 50 euros with them, and I'm just like, why would you even play a game with them? I mean, I could spot them a mile off as being crooked. And Steve noticed it as well. So, yeah, and there's the police over there. You might see a vehicle moving. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can focus in. But the police actually come down and will drive around the pier area, because they'll drive through the town. The Garda will go around the beach bit and then back up and through the town again. As I say, you know, it's pretty secure as well. We do have quite a good police presence. I would say the response time's pretty good as well. It's not like the UK. If you get robbed, they'll just give you a crime number. They're a bit more active here. Yeah, I do love it here. The family are happy here, which is the most important thing for me. And I think that's where some people just don't understand my viewpoint sometimes. It's not about money, it's about being content, and we're content. Financially, year on year, our money is growing as well. Our assets are growing as well. While we're here, things still develop in the Philippines. They're not at as fast a pace as I would like, but that's because we're still developing things in Spain. Within probably about the next 5 months, April will be working as well, which means, I'm not being funny, April's income alone could fund our life in Spain. Which means that the money that I bring in could pay for something else. Whether it's buying a place in La Mata, whether it's just keep stacking it in the bank, so that in the next 8 years we could actually just wrap everything up and just say, we don't need to work anymore. Whatever it is, it's all possible. And that's the key thing to this. My whole viewpoint is not to say my answer is the answer for everybody. That, I'm doing something better than everybody else. I'm just showing you what I do. And the fact is, it does actually work. I mean, if you look at things like Eat That Frog and other authors of, well, even if you look at the 4-hour work week, they follow a very similar pattern with what they do. It's the wealth development comes from very simple key things that people do on a regular basis. I can't define it in any other way. I would say, if you don't like my stuff, it's fine. But if you want to get onto a positive way of increasing your finance and improving your lifestyle or whatever, read some of those books. If you don't like reading, get some audio books. You can listen to them in the car. I do. The thing is, you only have one life and you're living it. And that's the way I look at it. I'm doing what I want to be doing. I'm sat living very close to the beach, living the life I love, spending my time with my family, and just enjoying what I have. Because that's half of the battle, you see, is not constantly pushing for the next thing, and forgetting what you've got. What you should be doing is being content with what you've got, and then sort of going, okay, we'll take this a little bit further, we'll do a bit more, if you want to. Because it's a bit like having the 60-inch TV, or getting the new curved one, or whatever. A lot of people forget that many people only had a 14-inch black and white TV not so long ago, should I say. TVs used to be horrendously expensive for the average person. But the whole point is, does the big screen make that much difference? For me, not really. Just sit closer. But the point is, if you're doing it to have a bigger TV, then you've missed the point that you should be doing it because you like watching the TV. Or you've done it as a treat for yourself because you've achieved something that sort of said, well, once I've done this, I can have that. Or, you know, it's about doing what makes you content. I can't put it any other way. But I do love living here. We just had this restaurant taken over as well. New corner number 2. So that's just come up because number 1 is the other end. Now, we've been to the restaurant here before. One of the downsides is for credit card processing, you'd have to spend €20 minimum. Now, considering this is the boardwalk, this little restaurant here gets really, really busy for teas and coffees, because people go for a walk with their dog or whatever, they'll sit down, have a tea or coffee. So they don't really want to be spending €20 just so they can process their card, but they may not have their money on them. But it had been expected, but we'll wait and see how this one is, because I haven't been in this one yet. And the other one's gone away again, because another one that normally sits just on the side of the jetty there. But anyway, just want to say to everybody, Happy New Year. And if it's been a hard year, I hope next year's a lot better for you. And whatever you're doing, do what makes you happy. Take care.